give us a smile. You are live on YouTube, on Facebook. Give me a second. We will push for live also on LinkedIn, right? So a few seconds more. There we go. Give us a big smile, please. Yay. Give us a second more. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello. Indeed, there is a tiny issue with LinkedIn. Yeah, okay. So give me a second, please. I will fix this for you. This happens sometimes. Yeah, okay. So I will have to repeat this. Sorry, just give me 1 minute and I will be ready. I do apologize to everyone on YouTube and on Facebook, but this is one of the things about LinkedIn. Yes. Okay. Request. Yes, get URL. Okay, let's do this here. Let's go to StreamYard and actually remove this. Okay. Guys, keep smiling. You never know when LinkedIn starts. You never know when LinkedIn. Give me a second. Sorry. Okay. Stream key. Got it. Let's go back here. So I'm actually redoing what I did simply because there was a certain lapse between the two. Like you shouldn't be early with LinkedIn. You should come on time. Okay. Save changes. This seems to be much better. Okay. Let me try again. So we are streaming. I just actually need to go back to LinkedIn and see if it allows us to go live. Berberi, this is your time. Big smile. Hello, LinkedIn. Please wake up. Now, this is really LinkedIn. Yes. Okay. Go live. Finally. Smile. Great. We are live. Finally. Gosh, I won't repeat this mistake again. So, Teresa, thank you very much for being here. It's really a big day for us because actually we had to postpone this the first time we planned it. And sorry again for this. But frankly, we had personal reasons that really didn't allow that we do it the first time. We're happy that you're here. And look, sometimes destiny plays in your favor. So we postponed it the first time. Berbel was not here the first time.
Yes. The stars have aligned.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah. So here we are. Thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it. I prepared a few things to say, actually, to introduce you, but frankly, I thought of those many times, and every time I thought, gosh, this is really not enough. Teresa is more than this, but I'll do what I can, and then you'll help me with the rest. Everybody, Teresa Rodriguez has spent over 10 years crafting high-end content for brands and readers alike. As the former editor-in-chief of Haute Living, even me French, I feel like very posh when saying this.
Oh, good.
She knows exactly how to capture an audience's attention. Join us to learn the secrets of luxury storytelling and how to make your brand stand out in a crowded digital world. Teresa, hello. Would you please tell us about yourself? This is our first question. Tell us about Teresa, the person. Feel free to speak about life partner, cats, dogs, horses, whatever there is around you.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Well, I was an equestrian for 10 years and had a beautiful Arabian named Fortune's Luck. And I also learned how to fly planes. So I was a pilot for a while, and so I understood the importance of direction. And now I live in beautiful San Francisco, in the area of the Presidio, which is a national park. So I live in a national park in San Francisco, which is an absolute dream come true. So I'm surrounded by trees and wildlife, but I'm still in a major city, and I can see the Golden Gate Bridge out of my bedroom window. So yeah, very, very lucky.
That sounds amazing.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Birbal, when are we going to the US?
I know, come. Oh, you guys missed all of the football games.
Well,
I
if you
had a
come,
full week of administrative stuff and visiting ministries and so on.
Yeah.
So I guess for the moment, sometimes it might be a bit difficult to go to the US, right?
Well, anytime, come. San Francisco's waiting.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you.
Sounds amazing how you live here.
I think everything about Teresa is amazing. Even the house that she works for is called Liberté Presse.
Yes. Freedom.
Do a lot of people pronounce this correctly? Liberté? Yeah, Liberté.
It's like liberty, what? So no. So yes, it's more, we focus on the European way, right? So yeah, Liberté, which the reason I started Liberté was it was about freedom. I was in the magazine industry for 20 years. At first I was a luxury travel editor for Nob Hill Gazette in San Francisco. And my whole job was to travel to luxury destinations and write about them.
Gosh, and must have been very hard.
It was honestly, it was like a dream job. I was like,
all of those spas, all of those dinners. How could you handle all of this?
And that was the first. Well, I'll even back up the tape a bit. I lived in Australia for 5 years. That's where I did my undergrad, and I was a model. And I worked. I was a big, believe it or not, I was a shoe model. Like my feet, I have the perfect feet. And so I would get hired by all of these incredible luxury shoe brands to model their shoes. So you can, that's how I paid for my college education. And I also worked on a game show. And so the game show was blind date. And so there was the 3 contestants and the 1 contestant, and they would end up picking one, and they would go on a beautiful luxury trip together. So that was my forte into luxury travel when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. And that's where I learned about the experience of luxury and the difference between staying at a Motel 6, which is what I could afford when I was in college, to staying at a Four Seasons, right? So a few numbers off, 6 and then 4, but the experience is where I first started to really learn about branding. And I came back to the United States and then ended up working in advertising. And that, of course, is all about experience and trying to align, people, the whole goal is to align with the brand. So my whole life, I've been in this really, really, really lucky space of storytelling and elevation.
Great.
Does it happen to you that you have the need or the joy to do something completely not luxurious? I don't know, to go to nature, to camp on the ground, or not glamping.
Not camp on the ground. But let's go back to nature, because I live in the middle of a forest. So there is a deep sense. I have a very deep need. So I hike twice a week. And today I'm supposed to be hiking right now with a dear friend and also my mentor. And we hike through the redwoods and the eucalyptus trees, and we can hear the birds. So that is actually a beautiful way to ground yourself in a different experience that is completely luxurious as well. So I look at what luxury is and what luxury represents. And I'd love to get more into it, but I do believe that time is a luxury.
It is.
Yes.
Actually, it might be the most luxurious luxury, because it's the only one that money cannot buy.
Correct.
Yes. And it is spread evenly for all of us, but very excessive, very successful, but also very rich people used to luxury. I think they pressure it maybe the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how precious time is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
24 hours per day, no matter how much you pay.
Yeah.
It is still
Exactly.
24 hours per day.
Right. And how would you
Great.
Cannot get it back.
to spend that 24 hours? So let's take,
Exactly.
I kind of even want to roll the clock back 2,000 years ago about luxury and symbolism. And I was having a conversation with an interior designer, and we were talking about, I had just come back from the island of Saba. Do you know about this island?
The island of what?
Saba. It's a Dutch island in the middle of the Caribbean.
And
Fascinating island.
we usually go south. We don't really go north. Too cold up there.
Sideways.
It's in the Caribbean. So
It's in the
not,
Caribbean. Correct.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It looks like a villain's lair. It's this piece of volcanic rock that's sticking up, and there's no beaches
Okay.
whatsoever. It's got the craziest airport on the planet, and it was founded by the Dutch in the 1600s. Each family that lived there had its own lace design. They would create a lace. The women would, during the wars, the way that they made the money for the Netherlands is that they would create lace. But every family on the island created a different lace.
Yeah.
And depending on the hierarchy of that family, the value of their lace was greater. Then you look at tartans, right? In hundreds of years ago, each clan had their own tartan. And that tartan, when you saw it, you knew who your family was, you know which region you came from, and you knew the power and the hierarchy. You knew who your friends were, and you knew who your enemies were the second that you saw that tartan. This is the same with luxury brands, right? And each brand that we still celebrate today has a story. It has an origin story that we all fall in love with and want to be a part of. So you take Hermes, for example, right? They started as saddlery. I know this because I was a writer, and to own a Hermes saddle was like the pinnacle of success when you put that on your horse. Well, of course, life changed, things pivoted, and not too many people go around riding their horses, right? So what did Hermes do? They took their craftsmanship and they retooled it and made handbags and scarves that now become a symbol of luxury and status. And this is what truly creates a brand and luxury. Because the truth is, right, we can get into a Mitsubishi car and it's going to get us from A to Z, right? But we can also get into a Phantom Rolls Royce and it will get us there as well. But it will get us there with an experience and the luxury and a heritage in front of us. And that is where the power is, right?
Sure, but how many people do you think of those who can afford to buy Hermes bags today do know the story behind, and actually they buy the bag because of the story?
I think a lot do. I think
Really?
because and I'm going to explain why. They can also buy a Chanel bag. They can buy a Gucci bag. They can buy a Dior bag. And each of them have a different story. Chanel was this incredible woman who wanted to make fashion something that was more in line with her vision of beauty. And she created a handbag that was very useful to her and a style that she could keep her lipstick and her wallet and her glasses. Hermes created a completely different vibe with their bags, right? So you've got the Kelly bag, you've got the Birkin bag based on women. And then you've got the Dior, which also is a fantastic story of his atelier and the passion that he had. And when I believe, and then you've got Gucci, which is just, it's more frivolous and current and a little bit louder than all of those. And I do believe that when consumers walk in to stores, there are and then Louis Vuitton. Oh my God, we can't forget Louis Vuitton.
Ooh.
And his story. And now I do believe that most people don't know Louis Vuitton's story, which is a fantastic story, where he was traveling back and forth from the country to Paris, and he saw how the big bags didn't fit on the train because they were rounded to let the rain fall off of them, but they were made out of leather. He's like, let's figure out a better material that can survive the rain and something that's stackable. So that was a problem that Louis Vuitton solved, and now it's a recognized brand.
Yes, I wish I could start a survey that asks, if you buy such luxurious products because you know the story behind and it really talks to you, then please vote A. Otherwise, if you buy it simply because friends around you actually show off with their luxurious products, please vote B. And I wish we could see actually how most people would vote. Frankly, I do not belong to this world. First of all, I mean, most of the products that you've mentioned are rather for women. Now, I know that there are luxurious products for men, but most of what you mentioned are for women. So I'm not part of this. I grew up without a sister.
Right.
So I'm not really part of this, generally. I grew up in a house where we were all just guys, just boys.
Right. But then you look at watches. You look at watches for men. You look at Rolex and Cartier and all of the big brands, and they all tell time, right? Every single watch. What does it do? It does the same exact thing. It tells you what time of day it is. But the way in which it tells you the time is completely different. Is it telling you time with a watch that you can take scuba diving? Is it telling you the time on a watch that you can go dive with? Is it telling you a watch that you can fly a plane with? And that in itself, too, is an incredible way that stories are told on your wrist.
Allow me just to mention something to you. I remember I once saw Mr. Hayek on TV, and he was talking about the watch that James Bond wore in one of his films. And the lady who was moderating the episode insisted on how much do you pay for such a very big actor to actually wear the watch. And he tried to, as much as he could, to avoid this. And then finally he said, well, let's say it's a number between 30 and 70,000 or something like this. Like, he made us understand that it was around 50,000 without actually saying 50,000. And then he said, actually, this is not at all the real cost. Like, relatively, in such a film, to place an object, like, for example, the watch on the hand of an actor, it's about 50,000 maybe. But actually, to tell everybody, did you see that actually James Bond was wearing that watch? Maybe you would put 2 million in marketing and in advertising, because that's actually what brings people to notice the watch and to want to buy the luxurious watch.
Right.
But once again, as you can see, what I understand of this and what is my own personal experience is that a lot of people who do acquire luxury brands, actually, they do so simply because, of course, it's beautiful, it's stylistic, and because they receive positive feedback from people around them, like, wow, it is a Patek Philippe, man, you have a Rolex in your hand.
Right.
Not because they know the beautiful story that's behind, and because of this story, they decide to go and put 50,000 on a Rolex instead of maybe 100 or 200 on a regular Swatch.
Right, right. So that goes to something that we find in the past as well, like the Roman Empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw the eagle, you saw the laurel wreath, you saw the imperial seals, right? You saw those and you knew that those stood for stability, authority, power, and continuity. People can buy those now. They can buy the seal of Rolex. They can buy the seal of these watches, even though they don't necessarily themselves have the authority, the stability, or the power, or the continuity. It is a way of aligning themselves with those values.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because
that was a wonderful intro.
What?
Go ahead. I was saying that was a wonderful introduction to the episode, but please go ahead, continue what you were saying.
No, so what happens is these symbols create trust. And we, as humans, rely on trust.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Yeah.
When they see the symbol, it answers the question. Can I trust this brand? Do I know that it's quality? And do I know that what I'm wearing or what I'm showing or what I'm driving, can I trust it? And that's the power.
Yes. Birbal, we did have a discussion recently about some reactions that you receive from some of your trainees when you go advising or actually consulting. And sometimes you receive some different feedback depending on how you're dressed.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I think this also is part of the story I tell in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with culture, but it also has to do with what you want to transmit. If I consider to be professional and to work with executives, this is the brand I have, this is what I focus on. So probably you get there rather well dressed. Also, you don't overdress, but you pay attention to quality there also. At least this is what I think. But Teresa, what you just mentioned from the governments, from the Roman Empire, from the Scottish clans, the Tartans, um, beyond this story, this makes me think, and this indeed we use a lot in leadership development. Also, this makes me think that in ancient times, people, clans, countries, kings showed their values. Like, for example, on the coat of arms, on the insignia, they showed their values. Why is that? Because if I come with my coat of arms and you approach me, you know who I am and what I stand for,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think everything you beautifully described goes even deeper, because those companies, they really stand on their values also.
Yeah.
I used to work a lot for the automotive industry, and
Mm-hmm.
if you see there the passion for the detail of quality, for same goes for, you mentioned Hermes, every stitch
Yeah.
has to be the exact same size. So there you really see the passion for quality. And then when we started, like many years ago, I worked in the high quality printing industry. We produced those car and also high fashion catalogs, and sometimes the product weren't ready for photograph. And they started with CGI, computer generated
Okay.
images. And there also we had to work on the perfect shade, on the perfect shadow. And especially I remember once the stitches were not perfect, they stopped the whole print run, which was under huge pressure. It was unacceptable to go further. So yeah, there is values behind. I think there is, of course, the dominance or the passion for quality, for excellence, the watchmakers, for beauty, for reliability. It's always the right time that they show, yeah, for reliability, for continuity, for a lot of things. So I would love to hear from you, Teresa. I have the impression also, if you go there as a customer, they give you this experience which goes far beyond just the brand and the image, but really share those values, how they treat their customers, how the experience is when you go into a luxury hotel or you go to
Right.
Hermes or others. What do you think about this? How do you experience this?
Yeah, I completely agree. One of my favorite books that I recommend is a book by Don Miller, who wrote Building a Story Brand. And what's really powerful about this book that founders and up and coming brands should really understand is that he shares that customers are not buying the product. That's not what they're buying. They're buying a better version of themselves. And if you look at any story arc, any Shakespeare, any story, there is a hero and a guide and a villain. And so what he says is that the customer is the hero and the brand is the guide. So luxury brands understand this explicitly well. So as we mentioned, Rolex is not selling watches. They're selling their achievement. Hermes is not selling the handbags. They're selling this craftsmanship and this exclusivity and this timeless taste. And the Four Seasons is not selling hotel rooms. They're selling this effortless comfort and impeccable service. And so when we experience these brands, we are getting an opportunity to step into their world, into their values. And it is such a wonderful experience because you can go to a hotel and get a bed, right? But you can also walk into a St. Regis and have the St. Regis experience. You can smell the fragrance. Each hotel has a fragrance, a signature cocktail, the way that you are greeted. There's so many little details that are explicit by each brand, and that is what we're paying for.
Absolutely.
Great. I love the smile on Barbara's face when you talk about the experience of the St. Regis.
I've been there last week with very dear friends for dinner, and it indeed was impressive. In Oman, in Muscat, they opened a St. Regis not
Where?
a year ago. In Muscat, in Oman.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah. It's on the, of course, at the beach on the seaside. It's amazing. It was really impressive, from the architecture to how you receive to everything, to every little detail,
The
from
details,
taking the order, from explaining the food, from serving the food, from everything. Yeah.
and the
And
care.
indeed, they tell you the story behind everything.
Right.
A very nice story. I remember, I think for hotels, there can be done so much more. We're talking about luxury today, so I have to admit 5-star hotels are really amazing. But I think sometimes it's so easy. You don't have to be a 5-star hotel to deliver a perfect experience to your customer.
Yeah.
And I remember this, Mark, you might guess what is coming now. A hotel in Tunisia, very nice hotel. They pick us up at the airport. Of course, you are tired, it's hot, so the car is well cooled down. There is water, there's everything. And then you arrive at the hotel, and in 95% of the hotels, you go to the reception, you stand there, you wait, you give your passport, you wait, you explain, you wait, and then you get a key card. So they invited you to take a seat in a comfortable lounge on a canapé. They brought you water, they brought you coffee, they brought you tea, whatever you liked. And then the reception would come to you. Yeah, it's like in a restaurant. We don't stand there, I mean, at fast food maybe, but we don't stand there to get our food. They come to you, they make you feel comfortable from second one.
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't cost anything.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we ask customers to go to the reception, to tell their name, to explain everything they've already booked online, and to stand there after a very long, tiring trip? Why not being a real host like you would do at home? Take the coat, have a seat,
Yes.
have a drink,
Yes.
and then I will come to you and ask you what you need, who you are. So I think luxury doesn't always have to, or let's say excellence, doesn't always have to cost a lot. It doesn't have to be reduced to the very expensive, beautiful, luxurious products and services. If you have a passion for your own business, you can do so much that doesn't cost, but that tells a story, that shows your values, that shows your manners. But therefore, you need to leave your desk. You need to think at your customer.
Yes.
Great. Believe it or not, it's already 16:30 my side. So we've already done half an hour. That's almost half the time.
Oh,
And I haven't asked one single question that I had prepared to ask today.
ah,
Okay.
Amazing. I like that.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. That really shows that we're all engaged in the discussion. And indeed, it's really a wonderful discussion. Um, what makes a story luxury for you, Teresa?
what makes a story luxury for me?
Luxury, quote and
Well,
unquote.
luxury without a story feels expensive. Luxury with a story feels valuable.
Nice. Well said.
So, yeah, I love the narratives. You know, a great house, a great brand can tell you why they exist, who founded them, what problem they originally solved, and why they still matter today.
Mhm.
And why they stick to their past also, right? To their
Yes.
founders and ancestors.
History creates credibility.
Yes.
But see, this is the crazy thing, you guys. This is what's so crazy. Okay. Liberté Press has only been in business for 2 years. But what we've established is a luxury brand that has a history, even though we've only been around for 2 years. How did we do that? Right?
That's a nice question. Go ahead.
We did it by holding true to all the values that I've been carrying since I've been on this planet, as well as knowing and understanding who the archetype customer is for me, who that person is, and what needs I'm fulfilling, what needs my company is fulfilling for my authors and my clients.
Nice.
Even
Interesting.
though my brand has only been around for 2 years, I have centuries, right? With
Yeah.
everything I've read and all of the
Yeah.
stories and centuries of experience that I'm able to
Yeah.
encapsulate in
Yeah.
what Liberté Press represents and stands for.
Great. Congratulations. Congratulations. How do you find the soul of a brand?
It's in the people. I do believe that the soul of a brand is in the people who are the creators. I was at Carolina Herrera. Perfect example. A dress. You can buy a dress, right, at Zara for 60 pounds or 60 euro, or you can go to Carolina Herrera and buy a dress that's going to cost you $4,000 and up. And I went to the atelier and I was wearing this beautiful dress that made me feel like $1,000,000 in this dress. And I think that goes back to what you're saying, Barbella, about when you wear a certain outfit, the way that you feel. And I was getting a tour of the atelier, and one of the seamstresses came up to me and said, I made this dress. This was my dress. I made this dress. I know every stitch in this dress. And that connection with the creator
Yes.
and the piece was so profound that the price tag didn't matter. I was there with the person who took her time with every single stitch
Yes.
in that fabric.
Yes. 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 Talking about stories and how we tell stories, especially stories related to the creators, is storytelling more important than the product itself?
Oh, that's such a great question. That's a really good question. And I want to find a very good analogy for this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because the story and the product needs to go hand in hand. But let's talk about Gucci in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
They diluted their brand and sold off to licensees that were allowed to make Gucci products. And we know what happened then. The Gucci brand failed. The architecture and the reliability of a brand, that brand disappeared. And it took them quite a while to, one, remove all of the licensees that were making these products that were crap and reestablish their place in luxury. So, yes, the quality of the product matters, because if you don't stick with your story, then nobody's going to believe your story, regardless of how great your story is. So if your product falls apart, it's worthless. Your brand is worthless.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for sharing this. How do you write for a high net worth audience? What's different about those people?
A lot of them, it's about their ego. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, because we all have egos and we all have a reason to share a story. But
Yes.
a lot of that is driven by this need to share what they've experienced on a greater platform.
Yeah.
And our egoic self is very ready to do that. And so it is a combination of them ready to share their experience along with the ability to do so on a platform such as a legacy piece as a book.
Yes. I think Burble had a story about some of the biggest mistakes that some brands do on social media. We more than once had those discussions about some brands who kind of behave like as if they were not luxury products, but like they behave like just common consumer goods.
Yeah, I mean, there is everything Teresa talked about. There is this conscious of the most important basis you stand on as a brand and also as a human being, as a leader. I think this goes very, very hand in hand. Is your values, is your past, is your vision for the future, your mission, why you do things, and who you want to be. I'm happy to hear if you disagree, Teresa, but I see a lot of parallel in human beings, in leaders, and also in everything you shared about brands, about luxury brands. You want to inspire people. You want to inspire, to guide them, to lead them, to bring them into your spotlight. And if you do not work on your reputation, if you do not explain and show and live your values and your brand, then you destroy your own company or foundation from the bottom. So
Yes.
I think this is a very bad thing to do. Teresa, I have one question, and don't take it provocative. It was just coming to mind when I listened to you. As I'm not 25 anymore, today sometimes I have experienced great brands and also luxury. I will never forget my first 3-star Michelin restaurant visit in Paris. I've never seen something like this before. It was many years ago, but you have your water sommelier, you have someone cleaning with a very beautiful silver-plated brush the breadcrumbs every now and then, and so on. So amazing. I told you about the hotels. I will never ever forget my first Hermes scarf that I bought, and so on. We can go on and on with this. This is experiences. Today, I don't know if this is my age or if it's the word or if it's a combination of all of this. I sometimes feel that luxury is about something completely different. Luxury is, we already mentioned time, and then what you do with your time. We are so rushed, so optimized, so efficient, so multitasking, so influenced by many things around us. Sometimes I feel luxury is to sit at the beach and have no phone with me and just sit there and watch, which I did today for an hour, which was really resourcing. luxury is to look after others who have little or nothing.
Yeah.
Luxury is to share time with people who don't have time, but who share it with you. So I'm more and more thinking about, I don't know, maybe it's my age, about all of these other things than brands, and investing a whole lot of money in things where I could maybe make a difference in the world more
Yeah.
easily by helping people. Is this crazy? Is this
No.
strange?
It's beautiful. And I think that understanding what luxury represents to you. And, it's the same with me, because people are like, oh, where's your next luxury destination? I'm like, my bathtub, like literally my bathtub, like, and some candles. Like, that's my next
Yes.
luxury, and that's all I want. Like, I've been traveling nonstop. Out of the last 4 weeks, I've been in the Caribbean for 3 of those weeks, which was fantastic and amazing, and visiting great islands like St. Martin and Saba and the British Virgin Islands.
Mhm.
But coming home and sleeping in my own bed is luxurious. And looking at our lives, as you mentioned, because we are getting older, and being able to spend time in those purpose-driven moments is incredibly satisfying, to be able to give back, to be able to share. And that is also a way that we communicate what our values are.
Yes. I want
Have
to
you
go back to
ever been
something
to
that
Oman? Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Have you ever been to Oman, as you're speaking about the Caribbean? Teresa, have you ever been to the Middle East, or have you ever been to Oman?
I haven't been to Oman. I've been to Dubai twice.
Please come to Oman. It's such a beautiful country to discover in nature, in culture, in people, and there's also a lot of luxurious venues.
I'm free that weekend.
Great. Waiting for you. Sorry, Mark.
It's okay. I just want to go back to what you guys mentioned. So first, I have a correction for Teresa. You guys are not growing older. You're growing younger. I'm the one who's growing older. I'm the only one here of the 3 of us. By looking at you, you're getting younger every day. I want to go back to something that you mentioned about the story behind the product and the dream behind what we're buying. And that, of course, you would agree that would definitely rings a bell with the Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you remember when he
Oh,
says,
yeah.
"Sell me this pen"? And it's not about the pen. It's not about the product. It's about
Yes.
what's behind.
Yeah.
Now, from a luxurious perspective, or from a luxury perspective, especially as you've been working at Haute Living, tell us, please, what you learned as editor-in-chief. Something that you didn't know before.
Whew. On the production side, let's see. Deadlines are real. What did I learn? That's a great question. I learned a lot. I think that when I was a little girl, we didn't have a lot of money. And I used to take magazines like Elle and cut photos out of them and put them on my wall. And when I took over the magazine, that's what I wanted to experience. I wanted to open the magazine and I wanted to disappear into the luxury. I wanted to feel aligned with these destinations, with these profiles, with the pictures of the beautiful jewelry. And so what I always tried to do was elevate whatever we were writing about, whatever we were covering, in a way that made my heart flutter. And believe it or not, that takes a lot of work.
Yes.
It takes a lot of work. I would visit a destination or go to a restaurant that was subpar, that I didn't want to write about or cover, because going back to the soul, there was no soul there. So everything that I did, I tried to bring soul to. So when you received that magazine, you knew that you were going to have this beautiful treat that you could sit down with and escape into. And trying to create that in every issue was tough, because I too wanted to hold the standards and values, editorial standards and values that were high in a place where I knew that my readers, because guess what? They're spending their time with this magazine.
Mhm.
I didn't want them to waste their time on stuff that didn't excite and inspire them.
Yes. Yes. Derbil, I know that recently you've been rather working with very, very big companies. And they are not luxury companies. They don't sell luxurious products. And the question really on my head is, do you think that such businesses could eventually use luxury storytelling tips?
Oh yeah, as I already developed a bit before, a lot of what we're talking about, if I take this to leadership, if I take this to brands that are not considered to be luxurious, excellence in leadership for me has a lot to do with storytelling. Why is that? Because you want to influence people. You want to share your vision, you want to share
Persuade.
your values,
Yes, madam.
and onboard people who ideally have the same heartbeat, who have the same passion to share your way and to build something in this company. And
Amazing.
this, yeah, I think this is very, very much of the stories, Teresa, that you shared.
Amazing. Teresa, my last question to you, and then a small question to Burble, and then we'll need to say goodbye, unfortunately. What is your favorite word to describe a great story?
For me, and I think this will
Yes.
be different for everybody, but inspiring. Inspiring. And the word inspiration comes from breath. Like, I want to read or know about a brand and I want to take a breath. I want to be a part of that. I want to inhale that story. It goes back to the senses, right? When you walk into a store or a hotel, Hotel Costa in Paris, they have that scent, and the second you walk in there exactly where you're at. And then they sell the candles that you can take home to bring
Yes.
a little bit of that luxury home with you, even if it's just me and my bathtub, right? I still have a little bit of that hotel with me. So I love it when stories inspire me.
Absolutely, 100% valid, and I 100% second what you said. Indeed, I've lived exactly what you described. Being in a hotel, the hotel was indeed associated with a very special perfume, which is actually a local flower.
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, on leaving the hotel, we got some of that perfume, and I genuinely, every time I used it, felt like there is still a piece of the hotel with me. I'm still living that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you very much. Burble, last question. How do you keep story, especially in your milieu? How do you keep story simple but powerful?
A story?
Yeah. Like, for example, a story that you're sharing with one of the CEOs you're looking after. You want to share with them tips about how to keep, they have simple stories, nothing very complicated.
A
I don't
story
know, let's
should be
imagine, for
short.
example,
Yeah.
a CEO in the healthcare sector, for example. How would you recommend that they keep the story short but powerful?
What I think is already important is the start. So if you give a keynote or you speak at a congress or whatever, hello, my name is Barbara Wiedenkamp. I speak about leadership today. We know all of this since we have been seeing the invitation or the program. So start with something catchy. Start with something surprising. Start with a citation, a quote from someone, some numbers that surprise. Start with a personal story to catch people at the beginning. And then not more than 3 messages, and have a structure, like not school book, not boring, but help people to follow, help to understand. And a third ingredient that is very important, and many people don't do this, is stop. make a break.
Mm-hmm.
Let
Yes.
people think what you were just saying. If I continue to speak and I speak and I speak and I tell you, you listen to me, but you also want to process.
Yes.
There also we need a breath.
Yes.
So if I
Yes.
stop for a moment, let me think about it. So
Yes.
then the message sinks in. And I think there is more to it, but this is 3 things that are maybe helpful or important. Start interesting, surprisingly. Limit it to 3 messages. And do breaks, even though you might feel it's awkward. Pause.
It does have an impact, if I may.
Absolutely. It
Teresa, I
brings the
feel
attention back, right? It brings the
true.
attention back, but it also lets people follow you because we cannot listen and think at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
need some time to process. And if you go from one thing to the other, I'm lost, I'm overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Indeed. Teresa, I feel you want to add something, right?
No, what she said was so right, which goes back to the breath, right? That inspiration where we
Yes.
need to take that breath and let people process what you just said. So yeah, I completely agree. The breath is so powerful.
That's great. Thank you very much, both of you. It was really a wonderful podcast. I really enjoyed it so much, and I'm absolutely sure that so many people did too. Thank you very much, both of you, and I look forward to another opportunity where we see you again and we discuss again. You have a great, great evening from northeastern France.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.